Okay, so this is the next video in the continuation of the Fast API series, right? So till now, we have covered almost 15 videos, and in the last video, we have organized some our test cases, because in the video number 14, there are some repetition of the code in both the test cases, unnecessary repetition of the code. So what we did is we created one configuration file, and we use the concept of the fixtures, PyTest fixtures, and we organize our test case. So till now, we have created a user endpoint, so which will just create the user, that is the basically a post endpoint, and we have created the post item endpoint, so which basically create a item. Okay, so let's see what we have how our application looks like till now. So let me activate the environment. Okay, so let me start the application using the UV-Core server. UV-Core main is the you can say source file, and app is the instance name. So the application will be get started. So now let's look how our application looks like. Application not get started. Okay, it is getting started, so let's wait. It looks something, the process is slow. Yeah, now it's got started, so let me refresh it. So we created one user endpoint, one user which is creating the user, and we have the we are creating some posting the item, right? So we can try it out, we can post the title and the description of the particular item. Now we will create the get endpoint. So once the item has been created, how we can retrieve the particular item, right? So we will look at that get item endpoint. Along with that, within the get item endpoint, we would see this path parameter document, along with we will see this handling error concepts. So these two things which we will cover, not as part of the path parameter, there are a lot of things which is mentioned in the document, but for the time being, in the coming video we will cover everything, but for the time being we will see the basic things which we required just for this video. And similarly for the handling errors, there are a lot of things which we need to know about, within the handling errors, but we will see first a very basic things. So once our base is clear, then we will look at the advanced concepts as well. So let me close this, and let me close this. Let me terminate the application. So let's create our endpoint. So we need to create the get endpoint. So all our endpoints resides in the routers folder, and within the router folder we have the items. So let's open the items.py file, and now in the items we have the post endpoint. So let's create the get endpoint. So we are creating the get endpoint, and what path we want. So any path you can give. So let's suppose we want the item path only, right? And the tags could be same tag, that is the items tag, right? And we have to define some function. Let's suppose retrieve item by ID. So we will basically pass a ID, and we will do some kind of operation. So generally if you notice, so there are some URLs something like that, maybe www. something.com, let's suppose. So there is a some website, and where we have mentioned page number 1, page number 2, page number 3, page number 4, right? So there is slash parameter. So this is the something which we are passing from the from the client. The client means the browser. So we are accepting the there are n number of items into the database, but we want only that item for which we will pass the ID. So we have to accept the ID into the path parameter as well. So what we will do, we will give slash and we have to give the ID, right? But this is hard coded, so we have to pass the ID. So we will use the Python format string. So Python format string, like generally like we define into the curly brackets. So we are like passing the Python format string like ID. So this is the same thing which is mentioned in the path parameters. So path parameters is that you can declare path parameters or variables with the same syntax used with the Python format strings. So Python format strings like like we define Python format string using the curly brackets. So within the path parameters, whatever the item we want to pass by the users, we can like pass into the like curly brackets, or you can say the Python format. So we want the items with particular item ID. Like let's suppose there are 10 items into the database. We don't want all the items to be retrieved. We want only the item number for which item ID will be passed. So we are passing the item ID. So we have to pass in the path parameter. So similarly we are passing the, now within the function we will accept that particular ID. So whatever the ID we are passing, we will accept. And we know we are using the like pedantic approach. So we will see ID is basically integer. So we are explicitly mentioned that the ID, whatever the ID the user will be enter, so it should be integer. So let's suppose I will not pass like I will not use the pedantic schema. Let's suppose, so right. So first thing is that like what could be the, so ID will be passed. So once like first thing is the ID will be passed, the other things are the all the same things will be passed, because we have to perform retrieve the operation within that like from the database. So from the database we need some session, because right. So db the session variables, and the particular session is depend upon the get db, right. So the same thing like which we use into the create item. Now so same variable name like we are passing. Now we know we are using the like SQL Alchemy approaches, right. So we are not writing insert into statement, right. Like when we insert the item, we write the db.add. So db.add is basically SQL Alchemy statement, but at the back end automatically it will generate the insert into the table name and all the values automatically it will pass. Similarly when we retrieve the item, so generally we mention like select star from the particular table name where ID is equal to ID number, right. But we will not using that, we are using the SQL Alchemy. So what we will do, db dot, rather than the add, what we want to query, right. So db dot query, on which table we want to do the query. So the table name is our items. So if you forget the table name, let me show you again. So the table name exists in our models.py file. So nano models.py file. So table name is items. So we are like doing the query onto the item. Now we have to put the where clause, like where ID is equal to item. So we will actually filter that. So what we have to filter? So whatever the ID within the items class is equal to the ID which we pass. So items dot ID, so that is whatever the item exists into the item class, it should be equal to the ID which we passed. So double equal to, right. So there could be, ideally ID is the primary key only, so there could be only one item like only exists for the particular ID. But just in case like if there are more IDs, if the ID is not the primary key, then it could be the duplicate ID. So you can use the first function along with that, that is just fetch that first top row. But as of now we have only you can say ID is the primary key, so there will be only one ID exists. So either we use the first keyword or not, so it will not matter. So what it will return? It will return the item, and we have to return the item. That's it. Slowly and slowly we will like see so many other things, but right now this is the basic function which is ready. So let's save it, and let's start our application. UV core main app -- reload, just to check like if everything is working fine or not. So let me start localhost. So now we could see get path as well into the documentation retrieve id. So let's test it. So try it out. So now it is, because we within the path parameter we mentioned like id needs to be passed. So they told that like id needs to be passed. So let's suppose we pass id is equal to 1 and we execute it, but id1 doesn't exist into the database, so like it doesn't return any response. So let's suppose id2. So it is still executing. What happened? Something is wrong. Okay, JSON enable encoder error. Okay, so something is wrong. So I think we need to put the first keyword as well. So let me do that. So some error has been occurred, failed error has been occurred. And why this has been occurred? Because like it is like assuming like it should be the like the JSON response, and but what will happen? So let me show you again. Routers ls nano items, like we are getting the id. So I think the filter will like only return the object, so which is not the JSON response. So if we use the first keyword, it will like return some kind of a JSON response. So let's test just to check if it will work fine or not. So application has been restarted because we use the reload option, and if I re-execute it, and now I get the output. So we have to use the first option, because without the first keyword, so I think like it will return some kind of object. If we still want to cross verify what it is returning, so let me do is, so I will remove the first keyword and let me print the item. Print the item, and let's see the type of item, just to cross check like what is returning. And let me re-execute. I have re-execute, it will fail, but here we will definitely see the print statement because we use the print keyword. So what it is returning? So it is returning this particular query only, like select item where item is equal to. So it is basically like returning the query, because when I say the type, so type is basically this. So this is not something like which we want. We want particular JSON object, so we need to use the first keyword. And as I know, like we are using the db.query and filter by class, automatically at the backend it will like created the Postgres SQL query, right? So automatically at the backend it will like created the particular query. So that's why like we need the first argument as well. So first, so Control X, save, and if I re-execute it, and if I check what it will return now, let me go back. So now it is returning the models.item object, and the class is equal to the models.item. So it is, I think this is the something like which we want. So let me remove the print statement, because print statement we don't want. Okay, because yeah, so we want the particular item object, and here we get the item object, because in the models.py file only, nano models.py file, so we note the models.py file. So if we read the schemas, schemas, one second, ls nano schemas.py, here we are also saying that like ORM mode is equal to true, something like that. So we need the item automatically, where it will, I think it will automatically get mapped with the JSON object. But anyhow, we need the particular but let's see, we will like look a few things as well. When we pass the item ID as 1, so let's see what it will return. So it will return as a null. So it is not a like a good response, right? So we actually want like we something message like we are like this particular ID doesn't exist. So that's why like handling errors come into the pictures. So handling errors, so it will like provide some library, that is the HTTP exception library. So basically it is basically HTTP exception. So if I show you here, 1 minute, so 1 minute, if I re-execute it, so here like we are getting 200 is equal to OK, but it is not a OK response, right? Ideally it should be the 404, that is the item doesn't exist, right? Ideally it should be the 404 response, but we are getting 200 OK. So we have to handle the error. So how to handle the error? So let's see that as well. So we will go to the CD routers and nano items.py file. So there is a library HTTP exception which exists into the fast API only. So we will what we do first, we import that HTTP exception library. So that is imported. Now we will check if not item, that is item is null, then it will raise the HTTP exception. And what status code we want? We want status code 404 rather than status code 200, because we are not getting anything. So status code should be 404 rather than the 200, right? So we are explicitly mentioned if the item is null, then it should raise the HTTP exception and it will set the status code is equal to 404. So we are importing the HTTP exception. Okay, so let's re-trigger it again. So now we are getting a detailed node found, a better result than the earlier null. And here as well in the console we are seeing 404 not found, because like these logs are really very important. Like when there is anything wrong into the application, so we have to like check the logs as well only. So these logs are really very important. So that's why like if we are see just 200, so we think like everything is running fine, but everything is not running fine. For the item ID 1 doesn't exist, so everything is not running fine. All right, so item ID 1 doesn't exist, and if we see 2, so 2 exists and we are getting 200. Okay, so we like did like few more things within the particular route. All right, now so right now we are getting 1 minute, let me again show you. For the item number 1 we are getting execute, we are seeing not found, just a simple response not found, but we want a particular correct like error message like item ID 1 doesn't exist, like some kind of message like this. So what we will do is we will, because this is a detail like a JSON object and a key is detail, so we will override this detail keyword. So within the like wherever we are passing the HTTP status code, so what we will do, detail is equal to item ID does not exist, and ID is the like Python format string, so we will use the F format keyword, right? So let's test if it works or not. Execute. Okay, internal server error, something is wrong, and okay, I passed the details. Ideally it should be detail, so I pass the details because the key is detail. So details is not a key, but detail is a key. All right, so let me rerun, execute. Now I see now a better more error message like item 1 doesn't exist, right? Let's improve few more things within the same route. Now we are passing like status code is equal to 404, right? But there are thousands of HTTP status code. We can't remember like all the status code. Like we know, okay, these are the very basic status code 404. We know like if the item doesn't exist, that it should be the 404 status code. But there are thousand status HTTP status code. We can't remember all the status code. So Fast API is providing one more you can say a class, or I think library attribute, I think it is a class. So it is providing one more function or module, that is a class status. So if we import the status, status contains all the HTTP codes, so we don't even have to remember the HTTP codes. So what we will do, rather than the 404, we are using the status, and using the dot keyword we will pass the HTTP 404 not found. Here I am manually typing, but if you use the VS Code or any editor, like when you just type status dot HTTP, it will automatically show you like all the status code which is available into the status library, right? So I will pass HTTP 404 not found. So Control X, yes. So now let's test it again, execute, and still we are getting HTTP 1 item 1 doesn't exist, and that is perfectly okay. So 404 not found, right? So why I use the status library? So there are two things, like one we know earlier we were not aware about like whether there is any status module present in FastAPI or not. So we know that now, rather than hard coding like 404, 202, 201, 505 or any other like 303 or any other status code, we will not remember all this status code. We will just use the status library, and we will pass the status dot, and then just as soon as you press the dot, because I am using the nano editor, so this will not show me the whatever the functions or you can say attribute exist in the particular module. It will not show to me. But if you use the VS Code or PyCharm or any other like editor, it will definitely show you. So you don't need to actually remember all the status code. You have to just type HTTP, then automatically it will show you. So you can from the drop down list you can easily select, because it will show you not found or something like that, and you don't need to actually remember this particular 404, but just by using the text you can easily remember, you can easily put the that into your code. Okay, now few more things I have to show you. So till now we are passing item number 1, we are getting response. We are passing item number 2, we are getting response. Alright, but let's suppose if I pass item number some garbage character. So if I hit enter, what we are getting? We are getting internal server error, so which is not a good because our application got failed. Right, so this is something wrong. So what we have to do is, that's why Pydantic schema comes into the picture. So because when we are accepting the ID as a field, we are not telling whether the ID is integer, whether the ID is string. So it is accepting everything. And if we are passing the string, like our in our table, we explicitly mention our table has the integer, so it unable to accept that. So here we are passing, it should be integer only. So if I hit this, and let me show you again. If I press 1 and if I hit execute, it will show me the correct response. If I give 2, it will show me the correct response. Now if I pass some characters, it will throw me particular error, value is not a valid integer, type error integer. So rather than my application itself got failed, it will pass me the particular you can say response. So yeah, so it will pass me the particular response 422 unprocessable event, and it will automatically give a beautiful output. The value is not a valid integer and the type error should be integer, and the what is the value, the particular in the path particular ID value. So it is giving me some a good response rather than throwing me the error. So that's why the Pydantic schema come into the picture. So that's why we have to use the a type hinting, or you can say whatever the type we have to define. Okay, so that is done, but still we have to see one more thing. So if I am passing the correct ID 2, and if I execute it, it is showing me so many things, like what is the ID, what is the owner ID. We don't want like these things. We want to show only title, date posted and description to the user. So we already know what we have to do. We have to use the keyword response model as we like use here. So we have to use the keyword response model, and we will use the show item as a response model. Let's save it, and now let's re-execute it. Now those ID field is not like visible to the user, so user are only see whatever like we want to like show to the user, only the specific details. ID doesn't like user want what is the ID into the database, he don't really care, right? So we are showing the particular like details to the like users only, right? So yeah, so we have like covered, like we created a one more route, get item route. So we see the HTTP exception, how to handle the exception. We see the status library, we see how to override the detail, we see how to raise the HTTP exception, we see the how to like handle the Pydantic schema, and all these things like we have seen. Now we will create the test case. cd tests and ls nano test item root.py. So within the item itself we have the create item. Now we will use the test underscore, because we are using the PyTest framework, so all the test case will be defined using the test underscore retrieve item by ID, and we will use the client. So it is like automatically getting from the particular configuration.test file. Now we have to hit the URL client.get, and what is the URL? Item is the URL. So let's test for the item number 1, because it will use my 1 minute, because when I do the testing it will use my SQLite database. So let me check what ID will be exist into the database, and we will only test that. So let me open that 1 minute. So it's open. Let me open the database, desktop, and testing, and test.db is the database. So let me check what item exists. So item number 1, 2, 3 exist. So let me test for item number 2. So if I pass the item number 2, so it will give me some response. Alright, so that is fine, and I have to check the response dot status code should be 200, because this item exists. Along with that, assert response status response dot JSON, because it will return me the JSON response, and within the JSON response we want the title. We want to check the title. What is the title? And title should be item 3. For the ID number 2, title is item 3. Okay, so we have like prepare the text case as well. So let's do the testing, but we are not, I think let me cross check whether we are dropping the tables or not. Nano conf test.py file. So we are not dropping the tables. So if I rerun the test case, it will fail. Why it will fail? Because it will like trigger all my test cases, like a user test case, user route. So this user will definitely exist. So 2, 3, 4, 5 exist. So let me insert user number 6. Ideally, like we will never update our test case. There is a one more method I will like show in you guys into the like next video. But as of now, every time I am changing the test cases, but we don't need to change the test cases, but every time we will like drop everything and recreate everything. So test user number 6, okay, that's fine. So it will work fine. Now let me check the items table. Item number 1 2 3 exists, item number 2 3 4 exists, so let me insert 5. So this is item number 5, and yeah, fine, and let me, yeah, so that is fine, okay, so 2 exist. So let's do the testing as well. So let me stop the application. So it is not required, application should be running. So let me run the PyTest module, PyTest -v. Okay, retrieve by ID fail. Okay, it says that item is the caps. Okay, item is caps, so our test case is wrong. Control X cd test nano test underscore item. So this is caps, but because this already passed, so we have to again. So there are two things. Let me remove the particular item which we have inserted. So from here delete the record. So I have deleted the record, and from the user as well, let me delete this, right? So I have deleted that, and save, not save. I think I have to save that as well. I'm not sure whether I have to save or not. 1 minute. If I refresh it, test user 5 exists now. Okay, and items, if I refresh it, is it deleted, or I need to something? 1 minute. Okay, we will go to know if we run our test cases again. 1 minute. Clear PyTest -v. Okay, create item fail because of integrity issue. So I think that not saved. So better let me like update the test case. So item number 10, and this is item 10, and I am fetching the item number 2, that is fine. And now I have to update the user test case as well, user route. So let me test item number 7, test user 7, and here itself 7. Control X, yes, and now hopefully it should work. PyTest -v. Now all the test cases has been passed. So we have look a lot of things. We look the path parameters, how to pass the path parameters, right? And then when we pass the path parameter, then we use the earlier like we normally pass the path parameter without the pydantic approach. Then we see how to use the we have to pass the type keyword as well. So we are explicitly saying that this should be the integer as well, right? So rest within this path parameter, rest of the things like we will see in the coming videos. And within the handling errors tutorials, so we could see like there is a one library HTTP exception. We see this should be imported from the HTTP exception. We also see like we have to raise the HTTP exception, we have to pass the status code, we have to pass the detail keyword as well, right? So a lot of things like we have see, right? So rest of the things we will see in the coming video. So yeah, so that's the end of the video. Thank you.